Inside the Hells Angels, life in a notorious motor gang. The Hells Angels are a notorious motorcycle club. However, some of their groups are more aggressive and involved in organized crime than others. The Hells Angels look to operate more like a criminal organization outside the United States than a motorcycle club. Welcome back to the Criminal Network. Today we'll tell the story of the daring and popular Hells Angels. Apart from being bikers, who are they and why does everyone fear them? Keep watching to know more. Donald Chambers established the Bandidos in 1966. Historically, the gang in charge of Texas is one of the two main clubs involved in the Waco gunfight. They are the Hells Angels' adversaries. The Hells Angels Motorcycle Club is categorized as a motorcycle gang by numerous police and foreign intelligence organizations who claim that its members engage in various violent crimes, including drug trafficking, the trafficking of stolen items, running guns, extortion, and prostitution rings. But law enforcement officials later came to link the Hells Angels with the production and trafficking of illegal substances, particularly methamphetamine. The Hells Angels were always renowned as dangerous barroom fighters. They claim that their members engage in variously violent and organized crimes, including prostitution, drug trafficking, and the sale of stolen goods. The Outlaws, which have more than 1,700 members and hundreds of chapters, significantly impact drug smuggling at the Canadian border and rule over a sizable portion of the Great Lakes region. The club has a history of committing felony crimes all around the country. They could be the most formidable adversaries of the Hells Angels. The majority of the white men that belong to the Hells Angels are Harley-Davidson motorcycle riders. Each has a legal or official name that may be a funky moniker. The membership status is strictly regulated. Potential members need a rigorous screening and initiation process, and anyone quitting must return all regalia bearing the Hells Angels name or death head emblem. While some chapters have clubhouses, most members prefer to meet at bars and ride out on runs to recreational locations. If you're still watching this video, remember to click subscribe. The Hells Angels Motorcycle Club, or HAMC, is categorized as a motorcycle gang by numerous police and foreign intelligence agencies who claim that its members engage in a wide range of violent crimes, including drug trafficking, the trafficking of stolen goods, running guns, extortion, and prostitution rings. The group's members have insisted repeatedly that they're just a collection of motorcycle enthusiasts who got together to ride motorcycles, to plan social gatherings like road trips, fundraisers, parties, and motorcycle rallies, and that any crimes committed are the responsibility of the specific perpetrators and not the group as a whole. Club members have been charged with crimes and found guilty in many host countries. A real case was filed against the Hells Angels due to their notorious activities. After being suffocated and battered, Joshua O'Brien regained consciousness inside Englewood's Cool Cats tattoo shop. He was bleeding and had his hands and ankles bound. Shop owner Dusty Ulrich started blacking out O'Brien's death head tattoo, the symbol denoting membership in the infamous motorcycle club, as Hells Angels Motorcycle Club members from Colorado surrounded him. Ulrich replaced it with the word bad, while other Hells Angels snapped pictures of the ritual using mobile devices. Ulrich swore, "I will kill you and slice your throat if you ever tell anyone about this." However, O'Brien went to the police and reported what had transpired, sparking a 5-month investigation into the famed bikers that culminated in a raid on the Hells Angels clubhouse in Denver's Highland District in November. Authorities confiscated methamphetamine, cocaine, money, and dozens of firearms during the early morning raid there and at other places. In addition to several allegations of assault, burglary, and kidnapping, 13 Hells Angels members aged 30 to 81 were charged with breaching Colorado's Organized Crime Act. A 14th member of the Destroyer motorcycle gang was also arrested. Because the arrest affidavits for the 14 individuals were concealed, the accusations against them remained a mystery for months. But earlier this month, during preliminary hearings for 3 defendants in Denver County Court, prosecutors presented their case against the Hells Angels. Their arrest affidavits were made public after a Denver Post reporter petitioned the courts to make the records public. The key witness in the case is O'Brien, a former member who claimed he was assaulted by individuals he once referred to as his brothers after they believed he was cooperating with police after a previous raid on his Lakewood motorcycle store. O'Brien claimed he could give detailed information to authorities about the Hells Angels Denver chapter's connections to meth stash houses, prostitutes, arms sales, and money laundering across the nation. O'Brien reportedly told detectives, "If you want loves and hugs, you go to the Rocky Mountain chapter," according to an arrest complaint. "Go to the Denver charter if you want drugs and firearms." In addition to stealing motorcycles for components, the gang conducts a high amount of weaponry trades, according to O'Brien's testimony in the arrest affidavit. If law enforcement is intervening with stash houses or chapters in other states, it is unclear at this time. Along with the general charges of organized crime, the allegations against the members of the Denver branch also include the 2 assaults on O'Brien that occurred in June and July. Defense lawyers have demonstrated that they will challenge O'Brien's credibility. When dealing with detectives, he left out important details of his account, such as that he didn't tell them he had stolen a truck in Erie the night before the assault. Russo informed the judge, "The government is aware the evidence relied on is from someone who has a tangential tie to the truth. They are aware of their issues with a witness. They may think this is seductive, but they rely on a prevaricator. They need help with alternatives." In 2003, the city settled a lawsuit for $50,000 after 18 members were detained outside their headquarters for hours without any evidence of wrongdoing. The city apologized formally. After holding 8 bikers at automatic rifle point for more than an hour during a traffic check without having any grounds to believe they were in danger, Denver and Mountain View police were obliged to apologize and pay money again 5 years later. The settlement included a $14,000 payment from the cities. A 150-page indictment against 50 members of a Hells Angels chapter that operated on the Spanish island of Majorca from 2009 to 2013 lists prostitution, drug trafficking, firearm possession and trafficking, extortion, and other crimes including murder. The trial against 49 suspected international collaborators and the club's former leader, Frank Hannabuth, began Monday in Madrid. Under Hannabuth's direction, the Hells Angels engaged in criminal activity in Majorca, claim Spanish authorities. He allegedly appointed individuals who committed crimes like extortion, pimping, obtaining illicit firearms, and robberies in well-known tourist locations. An hour before the trial began, Hannabuth was observed arriving at the court. There were 46 defendants present in total, and 3 more were scheduled to testify through video conference. The session's start was delayed while attorneys worked to secure plea deals for some of the accused. It wasn't immediately apparent if Hannabuth's attorney was one of those requesting a plea bargain. Apart from notorious crimes, marijuana and methamphetamine are manufactured, shipped, and distributed by the Hells Angels. The Hells Angels also transport and distribute drugs like cocaine, hashish, heroin, ecstasy, PCP, orphancyclidine, lysergic acid diethylamide or LSD, and diverted medications. After being recruited to provide stage security for the Altamont Festival, a free Rolling Stones concert held at a motor speedway east of Oakland on December 6, 1969, the Hells Angels gained prominence. Meredith Hunter, an 18-year-old male concertgoer, was stabbed to death. A Hells Angels member was initially charged with murder in connection with the incident, but was ultimately found not guilty. Gimme Shelter, a widely viewed documentary by Albert and David Maisels and Charlotte Zwerin, featured shots of violence at the concert. The younger generation of Hells Angels is more diverse, with careers and families, in contrast to the riders in the 1960s and 1970s who seemed wayward and singularly devoted to the club. While Hells Angels members and those in rival biker clubs have tended to hold down blue-collar jobs, the newer generation is more eclectic. Outside of their East Village clubhouse, a Hells Angels member shot a guy in the stomach in 2016 for moving a traffic cone that was blocking his parking space. 4 Hells Angels from New York ambushed and attacked Pagan Motorcycle Club members in September 2018 at a motel close to Staunton, Virginia. The Angels set themselves apart from society by kissing one another on the mouth as a greeting and a chance to startle onlookers. In his novel, Hells Angels, A Weird and Terrible Tale, Hunter S. Thompson immortalized the bikers' kisses. The writers mention numerous biker gangs that are between the ages of 21 and 45 and are involved in illegal activity. That description resembles the renowned Hunter S. Thompson novel from 1967, Hell's Angels, which says that the legendary gang's members are often between the ages of early 20s and mid-40s. With that, we come to the end of this video. If you liked the content, leave us a thumbs up and click on the bell icon to subscribe to our channel. Refer to our other videos and do check out our playlists.